Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Hard Factor 90.9 Adedayo. It's 15 gone past 3. And great to be here on the Friday edition of the show as we keep the conversation going. The final edition for the week, remember, Hard Factor comes away Mondays through Fridays, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And right at about 7, the sports gang will be in for extra time. All the action from the world of sports, do make it a date with them. I hope you've had a brilliant week and things have looked up for you, and I do hope you have plans to have a great time this weekend. I know I will. Not sure how this evening is going to go yet, but I feel certain I'm going to be playing some football tomorrow morning, trying to work on my fitness levels. Very important. To take care of your health. It's very important. Get some health insurance also if you don't have it. Do some exercise, something. Walk in the mornings, go for a run, jog, register at the gym, do something, keep fit. It's good to relish the sport pleasures of life, good to work hard as well, but also pay proper attention to your body also. It's very important not to do so, extremely important indeed. And I cannot once again overemphasize the importance of health insurance. Please get one if you don't have it already. Welcome once again from now till about 7 o'clock. Yep, we keep the conversation going. A few matters we are going to be discussing at this time, and let's see what are those issues on for discussion at this time. Someone's asking here via WhatsApp, have you stopped running? Well, let's just say that I changed tactics or strategies. That's the much that I'll say. But thanks for checking though, I suppose. Alright, so side comments comes up shortly. Random stories, random thoughts, and I do have a round coming up as well. Something in my mind. I'll express some thoughts on that, and I hope to get your take in mind till 4 p.m. Of course, on my side comments, I can express your thoughts on those during the open season segment after the major news at 6 p.m. So after today's round of 4, we got business news coming up, and after that we delve into more discussions. Speaking of which, the worrying effects of illegal oil refining, we're going to be taking a look at that. It's an ongoing conversation, I do believe. A very important one as well, if you ask me. One I perceive that we must continue to have, irrespective of the idiosyncrasies that might even somewhat be pervading the discussions out there. Regardless of that, we must have discussions along these lines with a view to improving things, making things better. But there are concerns as to the way things are at the moment, because on our news earlier, Environmental Rights Action and Friends of the Earth Nigeria says it remains worrisome that the government is doing little to nothing to stop illegal oil refining in the Niger Delta. It followed the recent 3 fire outbreaks in 3 consecutive days in Rivers State. The target office, Kentebe Ebiarido, told our correspondent the health and environmental impact remains dire. Let's hear Kentebe and what he had to say. There's no doubt very disturbing trend in the Niger Delta region, not just Rivers State, of course.
My first concern is the fact that we have artisanal refining going on in the states, undisturbed by the government, unattacked by the military, and that our children, our fathers and mothers, those that are vulnerable health-wise, will be inhaling substances that are destroying their own health system. People don't have any regard for the environment, for human lives, that they will go at any point in what they're doing to ensure that they get profits that you will not spend the money.
While those illegal oil refining still persist in the Niger Delta region, what are its impacts economically, socially, environmentally as well? What must we do to bring an end to it? There's another related matters we'll look at in the 4 o'clock hour. I'll be joined by Kentebe Ebiarido. He's Head Environmental Rights Action, the Friends of the Earth Nigeria Port Harcourt office, who will join me for that conversation till about 5. Now the news update is up at 5, and after that discussions continue. More of federal government palliative on the way. Yes indeed, it just might be your turn. Palliative is on the way. Yes indeed. You may start on the first one, it just might come to you this time around. And speaking of palliative, how exactly is it in what form is it coming this time? Well, the NLC has rejected a planned petrol price hike in the country. NLC President Ayuba Waba, in a statement, described the plan of the federal government as penny-wise, pound-foolish. Mr. Waba said Labour will continue to reject a deregulation that's anchored on the importation of petroleum products. Now, he said increase in price of petrol will cause hyperinflation, increase the price of goods, increase insecurity, and cause a citizen's revolt. And the federal government's proposal to pay the sum of 5,000 naira monthly to Nigerians as palliative. Mr. Wamba said the total amount involved in the initiative is far more than the money government claims and currently unfilled subsidy. Yeah, so, but by the way, the government plans to pay the poor Nigerians 5,000 naira for a minimum of 6 months and a maximum of 12 months. I think they're planning, I've seen an estimate of about over 2 trillion naira to be expended on this, even though the Senate says there is no provision for the proposed 5,000 naira transport grant to cushion the effect of subsidy removal in a 2022 budget. Senate Committee Chairman on Finance, Senator Solomon Adeola Olamilekan, said this after he defended his committee's report before the Committee on Appropriations. He said a 2022 budget proposal contained fuel subsidy and not a transportation grant, which amounts to 2.4 trillion naira. Oh my. Well, what do you make of this situation? Will FG's 5,000 naira palliative help cushion the effect of petrol subsidy removal and a consequent price hike? Get your take on that hopefully in the bank of lockout. Headlines 5:30, major news at 6, and open season afterwards still about 7 when the show comes to an end. So pretty much that describes the show today. If there are any issues, we'll find out. Stick around. But for the moment, we get things going right now with today's side comments. Remember, random stories and thoughts not to be discussed at this time. Let's start from the home scene. Civil servants in Rivers State say they are yet to receive the new minimum wage despite promises made by the state government. And some of them spoke to our correspondent and said they are still being paid their regular salaries. Let's hear what these civil servants have to say on this situation.
The issue of that minimum wage, we actually received the message that the union went and had a discussion about it with His Excellency, but thereafter we've not been able to know the outcome by way of implementation because nothing has been reflected on our payments concerning the minimum wage.
So we don't know actually whether it is implemented or not because the money I used to receive is the same money that I'm still earning.
Nothing is being done. It is not like that. As we speak now, we don't have anything about that. So it's the usual way of teaching up.
To give us the money and to discuss how they will pay. They don't pay.
I don't know. A few things might be wrong here. I'm not sure which one precisely, but a few things might be wrong. Now, it is possible that these civil servants who say that the new minimum wage has not been reflected in what they are paying, they might be ghost workers. That's one thing. They might be ghost workers. They might not be. There might be people who have not undergone biometrics verification, and the system is trying to flush them out. Or they are genuine civil servants, but I don't know. Maybe there are some accounting issues. And like a lot of Nigerians try to do, they have left it in the hands of God. Now, rather than complain to their line managers or their line heads or their heads of departments or the accounting departments so that it can be looked into and possibly rectified, they are praying to God, hoping the development will change. Of course, it will not change. That will not happen. So that's one thing as well. It's one possibility. What's the other possibility here? The other possibility is that government just doesn't care, the River State government, and will not pay because remember that project money is for project money. We can't use money for projects to pay salaries. So that's one option. That's one thing as well. I don't know which one is the correct one. I'm just fishing around here. or it might also be that the state civil servants in River State are yet to thank His Excellency for implementing the new minimum wage in River State. It could also be that as well. I don't know. Allegedly, it could be any of these, or even none of them at all. Okay, so but I would recommend that they look into all of this. So if they're not civil servants, get yourself out of it, and let's finish up whatever biometrics or other exercises, so we know who are civil servants or not. For those who are civil servants, complain to departments, to the appropriate authorities or line managers, so it can be looked into. And also, don't leave it in the hands of God. That doesn't change very much, really, especially not this case. What's the other option I came up with? Well, government also be accountable to the people, pay them. Project money might be project money, but let's pay attention to salary money also. Salary money is very important as project money as well. And finally, if it is the final option I came up with, civil servants, in your best interest, please organize yourselves and thank His Excellency. Enough, a word is enough, they say, for the wise. Thank you. I am yet to hear civil servants in River State thanking His Excellency for paying them, or for thinking of paying them the new national minimum wage. Can you imagine that? Not one trade union, not one workers, not the NLC, not TUC, none of them, or the other sub-unions, not one. I have not heard any announcement. I have not heard any jingle. I have not heard nothing. Zilch. Haven't read any paid advertorials in any of the dailies of workers in River State thanking His Excellency. How dare you guys? So, by the way, offices, marketing offices, departments are still open. I don't know, till now, till about 5:30, I think. Or maybe sometime next week from Monday, you can reach out, come over. Or we have a marketing department in town also. You can go there and place your advertorial to thank His Excellency for finally thinking of paying your national minimum wage, and or the new one, by the way. And who knows, that just might be the secret magic one or recipe that you need to make this happen. And speaking of thanking His Excellency, I observed that the thanking is still going on. Some new persons, new groups and associations have joined the wagon of thanking His Excellency for awarding contracts for road construction recently. Those are the wise ones. If you personally or individually, or your organization or association or local government or group, if you haven't thanked His Excellency yet, and you know you are directly or indirectly affected by the road contracts that we awarded recently, and you have not thanked His Excellency yet, okay, I believe you understand what I'm saying. In your best interest, visit our marketing office sometime very, very soon. Hopefully before the close of work today, and book those thank you messages. If you haven't, you are in government, and you know that road directly or indirectly, or you are in the party, or you are youth leader, women leader. You have not yet paid for your own. Okay, don't say I didn't tell you. Alright, for those, I can see some persons who are proffering possibilities as to why some of these civil servants may not have had the new national minimum wage reflected in their salaries. Someone says they are card-carrying members of opposition parties. That's on Only Sunday. We don't play party politics here in River State. No, we don't do that. Once elections are over, we face governance. That's what we do here. Or maybe the money has been used to construct a flyover close to the residents. It's much more important than minimum wage starts in Henry. No, Henry, we don't do that here as well. Project money is project money. Salary money is salary money, I suppose, or something like that. Let's see what has caught my attention on the news today. Yeah, River State Deputy Governor Ipalebo Harry Banago has called on well-meaning citizens, especially males, to join the campaign on violence against women and girls. Dr. Banago made this call in a goodwill message to commemorate the 2021 International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls. I join my voice with, I believe, every sensible, rational thinking, well-meaning person, including the Deputy Governor of River State, Ipalebo Harry Banago, Her Excellency, to join everyone to do all that they can to end violence against women and girls. It actually is a sign of weakness on your part if you believe that your strength comes from violating or abusing women or those of the female gender. It actually shows that you are weak. It doesn't show that you're strong at all. So in whatever capacity, in whatever way that you can protect women, protect girls, in so doing we are protecting our society. Inevitably we are protecting ourselves as well. Women, females are not second-class citizens. They are not inferior humans. They have the same, should be allowed to have the same right. They do have the same rights as men, as they are human beings as well. So let's uphold these rights to ensure that we have a better, saner society for all of us. So let's see, what else caught my attention on the news? Was there anything else? Let's see. Not sure there was much else that caught my attention on the news today. Let's see. I think that might just be it. Oh yes, this one. Students of Alu Secondary School at Omoike in Ekwere local government area are still learning in classrooms with falling ceilings. Our correspondent visited the school premises and reports that most of the classrooms have dilapidated ceilings, and some old students spoken this. Let's hear what these old students had to say about the situation in this school. Just a moment. Do I have it? Is it here? Okay, here we go.
It's not good environment for them. Since there are no money to repair the place, we keep managing it.
The environment is not comfortable for the students. Sometimes if rain before inside the classroom.
We still do the same thing. The environment is not good. Looking at the zinc, especially on the ceiling, so I don't think it's okay. But even without writing my WAEC, I know how it feels learning under this type of building.
Well, for me, the environment is not well okay. If you are learning in this class now, maybe in the afternoon and sun is shining, the rays of the sun is just directly on your head. You won't even capture what the teacher is saying. The environment is not okay for the students. Looking at the ceiling now, some of them, when their teacher might be in the classroom, they might fall on top of the students because they are not good. Some of the plants are not okay. So the ceiling might fall on any student and injure one of them. So it's not good for them.
In the meantime, a resident of Alu, Omoyeke, who wants to remain anonymous, has joined in calling on the relevant government authorities to urgently address the structural deficits in the school.
It's only unfortunate that the copper section, the review stay here. You can see their building is being dilapidated. So we beg government to come here and assist us to, if they can renovate the campus. They can renovate it. Even the classrooms, if you walk to that place now, to the various classes, visit there, you will see the facilities has decayed. Pray government should come and look into apply to assist us.
Okay, so I don't know if the 100 days fiesta that's been ravaging, or that was ravaging, local government in Rivers State. I don't know if the celebrations of the fiesta is over, but whether or not it's over, I hope that the local government chairman of the Korea local government area, Honorable Samuel Wanasuke, will look into the situation at the school. That's Arnold Secondary School, Moyike in the Korea local government area, and address the situation over there. You know, a lot of work has been done in the Korea, no doubt. A befitting local government council is great, and markets are wonderful also, and all the other stuff that's been done. And we must pay premium to the issue of education. Local government councils and edifices are great, but edifices are going to be pulled down at some time. Somebody else will come, maybe, I don't know, maybe in a decade or 20 years from now, or 50 years from now, someone's going to look at the edifice of the Ikoyi local government council secretariat and say this is not befitting, might pull down the entire structure and build something totally different. One thing that can never be pulled down, that will always remain, is the education we give to our children. So let's invest heavily in that. Okay, so that's it for side comments. I'll go for a break right now, and today's round comes up afterwards. Please stay with us.
Our freedom depends on our proactive responsibilities.
Let's talk, act, and be about development.
With one voice, our potential is realized. This is your number one news, talk, and sports radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am listening.
We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me, I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. What are you trying to insinuate? All these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info, in the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info. We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me, I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. What are you trying to insinuate? All these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info, in the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
The rains are here. You know what? The rains have been here. Matter of fact, the rains are still gonna be here. But how about our shelter? How about our roads? Will they survive flooding if we continue dumping refuse in our drainages? Don't wait for the government to stop your neighbors from destroying our environment. Don't pour refuse into the gutters. Floods kill and render our neighbors homeless. Let's be brother's keeper. Report offenders to the appropriate authorities. This message is from 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, Hard Facts.
Hard Facts with Dayo.
Welcome back. It is Hard Factor 90.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio, and I'd like to run for just a bit. There's something in my mind of expressing some thoughts in it. You're very welcome to express your thoughts and my thoughts all the way till 4 p.m. One of the problems, a major problem we have in Nigeria is with leadership, or the quality of leadership that we have, I suppose, is that they are unable to identify problems. Because a major ingredient of problem solving is that in the first instance, you can identify that there is a problem. And not just generically speaking, because whenever something is wrong, well, I mean, you don't even have to be half intelligent to know that something is wrong. So it's not just a generic feeling or perception that something is wrong, but I mean the result of painstaking, thorough effort, which helps you identify specifically what the actual problem is. So not the generic feeling of, oh, something is wrong, that's why there's a problem here, or that's why this has gone wrong. No, but it takes deliberate, painstaking effort to identify specifically and precisely what the problem is. Because until you identify precisely what the problem is, you cannot proffer adequate or relevant or workable or efficient, needless to say, effective solutions to that problem. More often than not, you get the impression that Nigerian leaders either do not have are not concerned with identifying the problems, or for some funny, bizarre reason, simply are incapable of identifying the problem, or even in some more bizarre instances, have that generic perception to every problem, such that every problem is a nail that requires a hammer. So it appears to the average Nigerian leader or politician, every problem is a nail. And what do you do with nails? You get a hammer and you drive it in. Unfortunately, every problem is not a nail and does not require a hammer to drive it in. An example of this hammer to the nail prescription, followed by almost every Nigerian leader, I suppose, in my estimation, goes with this story. Cut to the Vanguard newspaper. Kaduna lifts suspension of telecom services. Now here's the story. The Kaduna state government has lifted the suspension of telecom services imposed in some parts of the state. Samuel Aruwan, Commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, made the announcement on Friday in Kaduna. Now, he said, quote, I am here to inform you that the Kaduna state government has contacted the relevant federal agencies to effect the immediate restoration of telecommunication services which were suspended in some local government areas. According to him, security agencies have requested a shutdown in October 2021, among other measures, to assist ongoing operations against armed bandits and other criminals. The security agencies have now notified the government that telecom services can be restored. Along with the other measures in the security containment order, the telecom shutdown had helped the security agencies to achieve some results, which the security forces will reel out soon. The question is, what results exactly? Now, I don't want, maybe I shouldn't be in a rush, I shouldn't be in a hurry here. Maybe sometime next week or before next Christmas, and by next Christmas I mean December 2022, maybe the armed forces will finally reel out a statement as to what gains they may have recorded by this hammer to the nail. Application of this measure was always out of the question due to its advice that the restoration of full services residents of the affected LGAs may have encountered as a result of the shutdown. By the way, if you think that was the only hammer to the nail approach that was taken by government and security agencies in Kaduna State, you thought wrong. Listen to another paragraph in the statement. Notwithstanding, the government wishes to reiterate that the other measures announced as part of the security containment orders remain in force. These include the prohibition of motorcycles all over the state. No motorcycles in the state. The ban on weekly markets, goodness. Transportation of cattle, oh my. The prohibition of sale of fuel in jerry cans in specified local government areas, he said. And the question is, whilst these may deter maybe some element as far as those getting into either banditry or terrorism or even other acts of crime, to what extent will it really curb activities of criminals or even banditry or terrorism for that matter? And the answer is immediately obvious if you go through some of the stories that we've been seeing quite lately. Take this story from Daily Trust. I think it was published today. Bandits occupy Kaduna Abuja Road, operate for 4 days. For 4 days. The risk of commuting on the Abuja-Kaduna highway escalated in the past few days as armed men spent the better part of the week terrorizing road users, a development that scared away a lot of people from the road. For 4 consecutive days, bandits launched daring attacks on the Kaduna-Abuja highway and the Kaduna-Benin-Gwari road, killing 3 people and abducting dozens of persons between Sunday and Wednesday. And I mean, if you just Google bandits, Google Kaduna, and the media is agog with tales of war and the activities of these bandits and the banditry and terrorism that's taking place. So the question then is, what has been the effect of this prohibition or this, suspending telecoms activities in the state or in some parts of the state for that matter? Asking people to not use motorcycles and all of that. What has been the effect or the impact of this? I really cannot wait for the military or some other government agency or agent to reel out whatever successes may have been recorded, because kidnapping and other illegal terrorist activities have continued to rage in Kaduna and other parts of the north as well, where telecom services were suspended. So what successes did we record precisely? So I really hope that the Nigerian authorities, government security agents, will once again come to identify that not every problem is a nail that requires a hammer to hit it in. We have to be strategic about this. We have to be, we even have to be scientific about this, because the question does arise: how can you be claiming to try to use technology to track down bandits, to track down terrorists, to track down criminals, and then you have a headline like this other one in the Punch newspaper? This was published July this year. Major police tracking equipment down. Detectives struggle to trace bandits. Others. Key tracking equipment deployed by the police to go after kidnappers, bandits, and terrorists has remained inactive since the beginning of the year amid raging violent crimes across the country. Multiple reliable sources attributed the downtime to non-subscription and failure to engage the relevant company to carry out system upgrade, among other challenges. Remarkable indeed. So rather than pay for system upgrades, rather than pay for subscriptions, rather than ensure that technologies that were procured or need to be procured to ensure we can trace phone lines, we can track bandits, we can track terrorists, we can prevent crime and even solve crime or get bandits arrested and prosecuted using technology. Rather than do that, we just shut down the economy in Kaduna State. We shut down the economy in other states. We basically cut our fingers to spite our face. I really don't understand it. And fixed trackers, rather than ensure that we have that, maybe spend some money in acquiring this equipment, spend some money in maintaining this equipment. Rather than do that, we don't mind the humongous losses to the economy. We don't mind the humongous losses to business owners, big, medium, and small business owners in Kaduna State and elsewhere, who rely on these telecom services to run their businesses and even run their lives for that matter. And by the way, we shut down the telecoms in the state and put other bizarre extreme measures in place. What successes have we recorded? So this is a reminder to government or leadership in Nigeria: not every problem that needs a hammer to drive it in. Sometimes we need to employ we need to update ourselves and keep in touch with the realities of the times and employ modern technologies in solving some of our problems. On that note, I'm around. Thanks for listening. Hope you went bored. Let's get to take on mine. Got a few minutes to go. Lines are open. Call 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003 or 0007. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. WhatsApp is on 0809 030641. Keep it brief and straight to the point. Hello, hard factor. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Paul, calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead.
You know, this issue you are bringing up this period, since you are just joking with insecurity in this country. Sometime earlier, there was I will not say it's a rumor, somebody made a video that go viral, that there are things that wanted to happen. They want to switch off some network and they want to carry out some unnecessary genocide and whatever. In less than 3 weeks, we had another communication that they want to off some mobile communication through NCC, and the NCC came up and said, deny that story, and that story is true. Now today, look at what is happening.
Just a moment. This happened in Kaduna State. Do you understand?
No, it happened in Kaduna State.
Exactly, yes.
Now,
so they wanted to carry out genocide in Kaduna State.
Well, I wouldn't say that until they made that statement.
So where are you suggesting that somebody wanted to carry out genocide?
No, do you know why we're talking about this thing?
Where are you suggesting that somebody wanted to carry out genocide?
Would I protest it?
Where are you suggesting somebody wanted to carry out genocide? It's a very simple
question.
No,
I'm talking of information that has been coming through social media.
Where is that information? Where is that information suggesting that somebody wanted to carry out genocide?
Mr. Dayo, the information...
If you can't answer my question, I'm sorry, I have to move on. Hello, Hot Fancy, welcome.
Well, good afternoon.
You're welcome. Go ahead, please.
My name is Adedayo Elusakin.
Go ahead, Adedayo.
You're talking about insecurity in this country. To me, I see it as high neglect by the governors of these northern states. For instance, Kaduna. It was in this month, or last month, we heard that bandits were collecting tax. They came out of the street, from the bush, collecting tax from citizens. That the government of Kaduna is aware of this. The first attack that happened, they were aware. What stopped them deploying security in these roads, in this federal road, in these their routes? Does it mean that in Kaduna there is no police there, there is no army there, Navy are not there? So to me, I'm crying for people, innocent citizens that is being slain by this called Boko Haram bandit and all the rest. Their governor will come, he will make one statement. None of them is working. So to me, I see it as a very big neglect by the governors. If the people who vote you with the sole responsibility for you to protect their lives and their property, and you are not doing exactly what they vote you for, who do we blame? Are we blaming the citizens for them being killed? I think the government of Kaduna should stand up to their responsibility and protect their citizens. Thank you, Alojekin.
You're very welcome. The government is not doing enough. This is via WhatsApp. Not doing enough to fight these bandits. I'm currently serving in Katsina State, and the government placed a ban on selling fuels in cans. But some women were arrested along Katsina Kano Road. That is along Charinchi local government, carrying close to 75 liters of petrol in cans, going to the bush. But we have not gotten any press statement from the police. Just last Sunday, they attacked Bata Garawa village, a community that is 10 kilometers from the capital. No arrests have been made. All I see is the Air Force flying up and down. Precious from Katsina said that. Melody from Uniport goes, I find it rather ridiculous and cruel that while serious countries are using technology to fight insecurity, our gallant leaders and officers are discarding technology, we indeed are in reversed gear, driven by a bunch of incompetent mediocres. Given that, it's really sad that Nigerian leaders specialize in what is called reverse gear thinking. Those who made this bad decision may have bought the ultra-expensive Terrestrial satellite phones which do not require the local network. That's what you get when people who lack intellectual development are entrusted with power, money and position. Too bad. Because so what if bandits start using cars tomorrow and they specialize in using cars? Then we're going to ban the use of cars in Kaduna State or states in the north. What if they specialize in using television sets? What if they adopt television sets for something? We're going to ban television sets as well. What if they start to use laptops? And we've got a few of them and they use laptops for some purpose. We're going to ban these laptops over there as well. It really is bizarre. The approach we take to problems in this country, because if you can identify the problem, you cannot fix it. You're always going to get it wrong. Because once again, not every problem is a nail. That there isn't any one size fits all as far as problem solving is concerned. And one wonders, with all the experts and retinue of advisors and security professionals, you would think that they can figure out some way to track these persons, because obviously, if you were to ask me, shutting down telecom services in some of these states hasn't accomplished very much. Commercial break right now. 4 o'clock features business news. After that, the discussions continue. concerns regarding persistent illegal refining of oil in the Niger Delta region. Please stay with us.